All right, are we live?
Are we live? I think we're live. Hmm. Checking the settings on YouTube to make sure that we are live. Okay. Looks like I have excellent collection. Let's give it a few, make sure we are good to go. All right, I think we're good to go. We're gonna go start, right? What's going on, guys? In episode 57, again, I'm always looking this way because I got a sticky note right here to tell me the number of the episode. The fourth one of this year. Awesome, back to back. I'm pretty proud of myself. Hopefully, I could continue doing the server room episodes for you guys. Today, as you can see on the title, it's all about grabbing all your GPOs. Now, what do I mean? I started a job and a while back, and the IT director gave me a task, and he wanted me to do an audit on all the GPOs. If you don't know what GPO stands for, it is Group Policy Objects. Um, when I went inside the domain controller, or I basically used the group policy management to view all the GPOs that were attached to all the OUs inside the company, um, they had about 100 plus. And rather than going to each one, selecting it and going to settings and viewing it and then taking notes, that would be a pain in the butt. And I said to myself, when I start a new job, I want to use more PowerShell. So this is where PowerShell comes into play. So I'm going to switch to picture to picture. I'm going to show you my desktop. We're going to go inside the domain controller real quick, but I don't like going inside the servers to do anything, but I'm going to show you some of the group policies. So if we open up the group policy management, within this little lab, I only have a few group policies, so it's super easy to go inside settings in each one and just kind of take my notes and everything from here. It's going to generate the reports and go to show all. But can you imagine 100 plus GPOs and you have to do that for each one to do an audit? You are able to right click and save a report. That's but 100 plus times, you don't really want to do that. So I don't like doing everything on the server, so I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go into my PC01. If I want to do it like the stubborn way, I do have my management console tool, which does have the group policy management add-in already here, right? This is how I would manage things on my workstation rather than going to the DC. But again, like I said before, imagine you had 100, 200 plus GPOs, and this job that I started had about seriously 150 plus, maybe a lot. And I didn't want it to like right click and do save report each one individually, but I had to do something easy for me. So I'm going to minimize this. I have PowerShell ISE pinned to the taskbar. I'm going to click on the start. Doesn't matter how you do it. I'm going to type in ISE. This is the one that I want. I'm going to run it as an administrator. Beautiful. I'm going to hit yes here at the user account control. Beautiful. Let that load up. All right. So hopefully you guys are able to see me and see the screen. So the first command that we are going to do, super simple, we are going to do import module. I'm going to hit the tab to do the autocomplete, and it is going to be group policy. All right. We're going to run that. Boom. Super simple. It shouldn't take that long, but that is the first command that you want to import. All right. I'm going to hit enter a couple of times. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to grab all the GPOs, and then we need to push it into like a spreadsheet. I like to use export to a CSV file, and then I clean up the CSV file, and I will continue with the PowerShell. So the command that we're going to use that's part of the group policy module will be get-gpo, GPO, and we are going to do a parameter of all. We want all of them. Now, if we run this by itself, it's going to give you all this. So imagine 100 plus of these, like going, right? This is a lot. So we need to filter it down a little bit. So I'm going to give it a pipe. Move my mouse, move this stuff around here because I'm like everywhere. I need room. I am going to sort the object, do an autocomplete because it makes life easy. And I am going to actually use display name. So this right here, that's the display name. This is why I'm using this variable display name. It has to be the same way that you see it right here when you do a all. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe it again, and I'm going to select another object. So I sorted it. I'm going to select the object of the display name again. I'm going to pipe it one more time, and now I want to export all the display names into a CSV file. So CSV autocomplete and give it a path. Now the path that I'm going to give it would be a folder that I already have, BTNHD _ temp, and I'm going to call it GPO names CSV. Yep, that's the extension, and I'm going to use an attribute or a parameter of no type info. Okay, now I don't want you to think that I've did magic behind the scenes, so I am going to open up the File Explorer. My machine's been acting a little slow, so let's go inside the C drive. Let's go inside BTNHD _ temp. That's already created, and I do not have GPO names.csv in here. So I don't want you to think, oh yeah, it worked perfect because you already had the file in there. No, I don't have the file in there at all. So I'm going to minimize the File Explorer. We're going to run this command. Bam. Depending on how many GPOs you have, it will take some time because I think I have like 2 handful of GPOs, so it's pretty quick. So let's go back inside our folder. There goes our file that we just exported out. I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. Boom. Now I need to do a little cleanup inside this file. So I'm going to double click on it. And Microsoft Excel should open up. Come on. There it goes. Let's minimize this real quick. Awesome. So, yeah, press OK. So these are all the GPOs. Beautiful, but we need to do a little bit of cleanup. I'm going to remove the first row because I don't need that. Remove that. I just need the names for the rest of the PowerShell that we're going to do. Because what we're going to do right now is we're going to take these names and we're going to convert these GPOs into a HTML file. So we are able to open them up inside Chrome, multiple tabs, and then we're able to take our notes and make modifications and do whatever we want to do. And also you have a nice little repository locally of all the GPOs, right? So let's save this file. It's saved. We're going to close it up. Boom. Now the next command, actually I'm going to declare a variable. So let's do $ and D for domain name. You can call it whatever you want, equals to open and close double quotations. Now inside the quotations, what are we going to provide? You guessed it. We are going to enter our domain. My domain is btnhd.edu. Hit enter. We're going to declare another variable, S for server, and name, equal to open and close double quotations. And inside this variable, we are going to declare our domain controller. Boom. Now let's hit enter. Oops. Let's hit enter a couple of times. So we just declared two variables. Now it's time to grab the content within our CSV file. So I'm going to declare a variable. I'm going to call it GPOs. You're able to call it whatever you want. We're going to, hopefully you guys are able to see. If not, let me zoom in real quick. Boom. Awesome. All right. Hopefully you're able to see now. This is pretty large. We declared this variable, and now we need to grab the content within that CSV file. So what we are going to do is use the commandlet of get content. I'm going to hit tab to do autocomplete, and we're going to use the parameter of path and open and close quotation. And inside the quotations, we are going to give it the path of where that CSV is located. So it will be C:\BTNHD underscore temp for \GPO. Gotta love that autocomplete. You could double click on it, boom, and it auto completes it. Awesome. So I can actually run this. If I run this command, excellent, I already ran it. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. It ran it. Now, if I just highlight $GPOs and I just run that variable, it should give me all of the names of the GPOs, right? Or the content that's inside that CSV file. Awesome. Let's get in here. Let's hit enter a couple times. And now here comes the magic, right? We're going to use a for each loop. And we're going to use for each. We're going to open parentheses. We're going to declare a variable, and we're going to call it GPO in GPOs. So what does this mean? And we're going to close it. And then within here, we are going to we're going to open a wiggly bracket. But before I continue, what does this mean? So everything inside GPOs, it's going to go inside GPO. It's going to loop it until the very end, right? Yeah, so everything inside GPOs, which GPOs right now has the content that the CSV file has, which is the names of the GPOs, is going to grab that content and place it inside GPO. Now, GPO would be the variable that we're going to use inside the for each for us to produce what we want. I think I got that right. So let's continue. So within the for each loop, we're going to use a group policy commandlet, and that will be called get-gpo report. Autocomplete. Boom. Then we are going to use the parameter of name, and we need to, what name is it? It is going to be $GPO. Not GPOs, GPO. Because GPOs, we're grabbing that content and we're inserting it into this GPO. So we're going to use it within the for each loop. Boom. Space, we're going to use parameter of domain. Now the domain is what we declared in line 5, which would be $DName. Okay. Space, we need to use another parameter of server. Again, we declared that on line 6, so it would be $SName, which would be the server name. Space. Now we're going to use a parameter called report type. What type of report are we trying to get? And we want HTML. Cool thing about PowerShell is that it has that autocomplete, so it makes life super easy. So I am just going to use the autocomplete HTML. Now, this for each, all depends on your scripting style, your scripting style, or the way that you code. Like the get report and this little wiggly bracket, I know a lot of you probably would hit enter here and have this here in 11. This one would be on line 12, and then you hit a tab. It really depends. It's all up to you or how you want to manage your coding. Okay. So let me zoom out real quick. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, so this is going to be a long one. So what I'm going to do is hit space, and I'm going to hit the tilde, and then hit enter, right? Tilde, don't hit space, just tilde, hit enter. That's just going to do a continuous command. Now, next thing that we need to do is declare another parameter, and that parameter is path. Now, path. This is where we want to drop our content into. So I'm going to do open and close quotations, right? And within the open and close quotations, you could do it the simple way or you could do it the hard way. I'm going to do it the hard way because I think on one of my jobs that I had a long time ago, the naming of their GPOs was really weird. They had colons, they had the and symbol, they had commas on it. And if you're saving files within Windows, Windows doesn't like a bunch of symbols. So to play it safe, you could do like a replace kind of symbol. So if it sees this, replace it with this symbol. So this is how I do it. So the path, we're going to declare where we want to drop it. It's going to be inside the C drive. I want to drop it inside BTNHD temp. And I want to drop it inside a folder called GPOs. Now, I don't have a folder called GPOs. So we're going to open up the File Explorer. And let's create a folder together. Let's go to New. Let's go to Folders, GPOs, bam. And there's no magic. Inside GPOs, there's nothing inside of it. Awesome. All right, so let's minimize the File Explorer and let's continue. So from here, let's do a $, and we're going to do a open parentheses. We're going to do another $, but now this $, we're actually going to call out our variable that's within the for each loop, and that would be GPO. Now, inside here, we're going to use a parameter called replace. Now, within replace, we're going to declare a couple of things. So the way that you declare a couple of things is you use a single quote. So I'm going to do single. Inside the single quote, what's going to happen is if this locates a colon, right, comma, single quote, replace it with, what was it? Dash. Get it? So if it sees a colon, let me zoom in real quick. Boop. Yeah, so if it sees a colon, it's going to replace it with a dash. Yes. So there's a couple that I normally use, what I've seen in the past. So you could use a comma, you could do a space, single quotation. Inside the single quotation, I've seen GPO names with a /. So that's not good because that / Windows doesn't allow that in the name. So let's do a comma here, another single quote, and if it has that /, let's replace it with a dash. Now the last one, oh actually, before we do that, yeah, because I got my notes right here. It's not a comma. You do a space, and you're going to do replace. Yes. I'm looking at my notes. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, let me just finish it because that little red line is just freaking me out. So what I'm going to do the last one. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do another replace. And it's going to be single quote, single. And if it has a comma, put a dash. Got it. And then we're going to close the parentheses, give it a period HTML. Cool. And then I'm going to do a space at the end, and then we're going to do wiggly. This closes it. So let me see if I got this right. So we are using everything that's inside GPOs, which is what's inside the CSV. It's going to be dropped inside the GPO. It's going to loop it. We're going to get the get-gpo-report command. We're going to get the GPO names, which is within this variable here, which this content is being captured from this variable. The domain and the server, we already declared that in line 5 and 6. The parameter, we're using report type, and the type that we want is HTML. The path that we want to drop everything into is the following, and we're playing it safe because, again, Windows does not like certain things within the file name. So if the GPO name has a colon, it's going to be replaced with a dash. If it has a /, and you don't have to add all this extra space, just clean it up a little bit. If it has a /, it would replace it with a dash, right? Do another replace command, and if it has a comma, it gets replaced with a dash. Then you would do .html. I spelled that wrong. HTML. Beautiful, right? I think that's right. Let's zoom out of here. Okay. Now we are going to select lines 10 and 11. And again, let's go back inside folder. I don't have anything in here. I don't want you to say, you already had this stuff in there. No, I didn't have anything in there. So let's minimize that. Let's run 10 and 11. Run it. No. Oh, duh. I gotta run all this. I gotta run 5 and 6. Makes sense. So let's run everything again. Yeah, because the errors is like, what the heck is D name? What is S name? What is that? It doesn't know what that is. So you gotta run 5 and 6 and 8, 10 and 11 all together. So right now it's capturing all that information. Hopefully I typed everything right. Okay, it looks like it's finished. Let's head to our folder. There it goes. Awesome. So now you have all your GPOs, and like if I zoom in real quick, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. I'm gonna zoom in. You see the dash, like computer dash, whatever. You could get fancy with the replace. You could give it a nice little space in between. It's really up to you. But the actual GPO name has a colon, and I can show you guys right now. I'm going to get into here. And there it goes. See, computer colon, right? And within our PowerShell, we told it if it had a colon, replace it with a dash, right? Because Windows does not like that colon within the name. So that is how we save our butt in trouble. So let's zoom out. All right, minimize this. So now we have all the files that we want. We're able to double click on it, and depending on your default browser, I have Chrome. It's gonna open it up within Chrome, and then you can have all your GPOs laid out nicely in different tabs, and then you're able to make modifications. Not make modifications, but take notes, take your little black book and be like, all right, or Word document, have it type in the notes of like this, okay, the enrollment policy does this, it's gonna expire this and this and this, and then you built yourself a nice little report, and then you provide it to your IT director and say, okay, this GPO here, this GPO here, we need to update it because they do the same thing. I've seen that a lot. There's been like multiple GPOs that does the same crap, but there's just, you could just eliminate and just combine them all together. Okay, so another thing I want to show you before we end this episode, I'm going to close this up, is another cool little command. So the cool command that I like to use is a one-liner. So let's clear this out. I'm going to zoom in for you guys real quick. Boom. So we just learned how to grab everything and then drop it into where you want it, into a folder or wherever you want. I dropped everything inside the C drive into a folder called BTNHD_temp. Again, you are able to call it whatever you want. And the final results of all of our GPOs was inside a folder that I created with you guys called GPOs. Excellent. But let's say you want to, I don't know, export a GPO, a single one, right? Yeah, you are able to go inside the group policy management and right click on it. But if you want to get really fancy, you want to like do PowerShell, want to learn PowerShell, if you want to learn PowerShell, this is how you will run it. So we are going to do get, and we are going to do GPO report. That is the commandlet that we are going to use. We're going to do the parameter of name. And for this to work, we're going to do open and close parentheses. And inside the open and close parentheses, we're actually going to give it the name of the GPO. Now, you actually have to know the name of the GPO exactly. So the one that I want would be computer : space Windows updates. That's the one that I want to grab. And I'm going to hit a space. I'm going to use a parameter of domain. Right now, I already have domain as a variable in line 5, but if you don't want to go that extra step, you could just tell it which domain is it. So my domain is btnhd.edu. Okay, and let me move a little bit over here. We're going to hit space, and we're going to use a parameter of report type, what type of report we want, and we want the HTML one. Now, this is a pretty long one. You could do everything in one line, but I'm going to hit space. I'm going to hit the tilde. Once you hit the tilde, don't hit space. Just hit enter to continue on the next line. Now, on the next line, we're going to use the parameter of path. Okay. Open and close parentheses. And where do you want to drop this GPO into? So I'm going to drop it inside the C drive. BTNHD temp / I'm not going to drop it inside GPOs because this is already in there, I think, right? It's already in there. Yeah, it's already in there. But I am going to drop it inside the root of BTNHD_temp, and let's give it computer space - Windows updates, and make sure you give it the extension HTML. Regardless if you gave the parameter, the report type, you still have to provide the extension of the file. So we are going to zoom out of this. I'm going to highlight 13 and 14. Again, this entire thing could be a one-liner, and I'm going to go inside here. Let's go inside the root of BTNHD temp. I don't have an HTML file in here, so I don't want you guys to think, oh yeah, again, you're doing some magic. No, I'm not doing any magic. I'm not doing any magic. I'm doing everything live with you right now. Let's zoom out. And let's run 13 and 14. Give it some time. Come on. And done. Let's go inside our folder, and there goes our HTML, or our GPO exported into an HTML file that allows us to open it up. And don't get me wrong, you're able to open up the group policy management and click on it and go to settings, but I like this because it gives me a copy of it, and I'm able to always just reference it, make modifications on it. I believe if you're using Microsoft Edge, you're able to do markups on it. I think markups, or you can export this into a PDF and just make all markups and modifications and do whatever you want to do here. All right. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys hopefully next week. I'm playing around with the times. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think about this time, 11:30 to 12 or 12 to 12:30. I don't know. I've just been playing around with the times and just setting it up. Just comfortable. I don't have like lighting and sponsorships. I'm just here just to teach you guys and learn from you guys as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy episode 57. I catch you guys next week, and that's about it. All right. How the heck you end this? I always forget how to end this. Is it over? Are we finished? Are we good?